already talk about what is symbolism, but that's kind of Jonathan Pajot, a popular YouTuber, talk about symbolism. He's also from Quebec like me. And I think he's the same type as me, but double feminine. So I think also social type 3, /ENFP mope. But I think he's masculine NE. So symbolism also try to encapsulate everything in a picture. So people that are visual or masculine NE will really like symbolism. So symbolism is also very NF, like I said, but it's also encapsulating a lot in a picture, in a symbol. So a symbol that will summarize a lot of image. It's like one image that summarizes a lot of images and a lot of patterns, a lot of emotional charges. You can see the meeting in the middle is kind of a summarize of what is at the top that has patterns and what is at the bottom and has instincts. And because of that, the middle kind of summarize all the patterns, all the emotional charges. So for me, our attention is in the purpose of the instincts. So how we direct our attention is really to have some kind of goal, some type of telos, purpose of the instincts. So the instincts, very hard to talk about them. So that's why instincts in the form of the symbol, in my sense, are more saviors and demons. So instincts in the form of the symbols that have a language in the middle about NF charges, and about the top and the bottom are saviors and demons in our own experiences, functionality of those instinctual charges. So kind of the libido in our end that has instincts, that has charges, and that they will manifest in some kind of instinctual underpinning. They are what guide our attention in the macro sense. So it's more macro toward our life. So even if our instinct guide us in everyday life in very precise way, it's actually more in a macro sense, because universally NF is more observation in unity at the top. So that's why the instincts always are more macro alike. So they're more guiding you in a macro sense in our attention. It's not like every detail in your life will be exactly that. So that's why I said the macro sense, The motivation feeding the perception it generate make us fit some roles in our surroundings. So yeah, so it's kind of embed. It's like the motivation in your instinct will feed how you direct your attention or your perception, and because of that, what you will embody will be influenced by that, and the role that you will do in your surrounding will manifest into that kind of pattern of your perception motivation part. It is crucial to realize that our actions are derived by things before us that decide our attention. So basically, it's more that it's unconscious. So we don't decide that. Instincts are very, we're not supposed to be aware of that. It's like with OPS, who might know some instinctual charges, but like we don't know all our instinctual charges. Sometimes we know like the more primal one, like eating, sleeping, and all that. Very like primal instincts that are not really intellectualized to some degree. Like symbolism also more to talk about instinctualized, not instinctualized, but intellectualized instincts. More to say that the vocabulary always has some form of intellectual capacity. So yeah, I'm not sure if that makes sense there, but I will try to explain it. But yeah, it is crucial to realize that our actions are derived by things before that decide our attention. So basically the unconscious, Our state of mind are intertwined with our type of attention. So the more our state, the where you direct your attention will affect your mind, and over time, kind of change your purpose. So it's a feedback loop, you can say that. But it is therefore important to investigate the different types of human attention. So it's more my talk about it. The top and bottom. The top is the unity, and the bottom is the multiplicity. So in symbolism, there are very charges. Like multiplicity is very charges, basically OE, and the unity is very charge. So it's actually OI, giving significance to the middle to create a symbol. Like I said previously, the middle is a symbol and the vocabulary. The middle is the language rich of symbolism, most spiritual philosophical systems have come to the same conclusion regarding the ultimate template of the symbolic with heaven, logos, and earth. So, if you actually summarize a lot of philosophical system, kind of way to interpret the world, it's oftentimes some kind of trinity or some kind of heaven, logos and earth. It's oftentimes like maybe the one constructing at the top, the one deconstructing at the bottom, or the chaotic one at the bottom, the uniting one at the top, and the middle is oftentimes more the culture, the language, not the archetype, but we can say the self archetype that meet the middle, the top and the bottom. So it's more the heaven, logos, and earth in my sense, the most summarized trinity, and also put the eros part that is more the vibe. The eros parts are also more the feminine, you can say, and more the feeling. Like to some degree, you can say heaven is intuition, earth is sensory, and logos is kind of the DIDE, more in the sense of thinker maybe, because we're more like an intellectual creature, more like the discourse in the culture, something like that, the vocabulary. So it's more thinker alike. So that's why I put eros. I also did a video about that with Carl Jung. Eros, or like the cross. It's oftentimes the Holy Spirit, the Father and the Son. At the bottom might be like the devil, something like that. So talk about the number 4 and number 3, and symbolism. So yeah, just a snippet of that. So in my sense, it's the revelation in perception, which integrate experience and knowledge. So that's why I think universally, NF is idealism at the top, in observation, and ST is materialism at the bottom, in observation. I think that people that really know their stuff in symbolism will actually come to those conclusions, and that in a sense the NF orient you at the top in observation, and the ST is actually what you should focus on at the bottom in observation. So it's more to have some kind of integrated way to see the world with symbolism. So symbolism is really that, to have an integrated way to see the world, that things are embedded to each other, and that you see things into levels. Like, okay, that type of things goes into that level, that type of things into that levels, and kind of be aware of your charges and perception and motivation and experience and knowledge, kind of seeing, okay, how the patterns manifest into themselves, and how I can summarize a thing with a picture that is very charges of a lot of emotions, and that's how symbolism is very powerful. So I guess I can go to the picture of Jonathan Pageau, like the top, it's more the patterns, it's more the wings, the angels, like the crown, the sun, the moon, also kind of the cycle aspect, because so seeing the picture, that's like the bottom is more large and the top is more pointy. It's more the multiplicity at the bottom charging to the unity at the top. See, the water is more chaos, on the edge, so the edge is kind of outside of the system, so you have to encapsulate the things outside of the system in the system. So it's kind of more characterized by the water. It's kind of resourceful, chaotic at the same time. Can so see people, wings are again, but it's more like a multiplicity of wings, in a single being. And the middle is more like the tree of life, you can say. The origin, the origin is oftentimes in the middle. So like the original point is in the middle, and after it kind of go to the edge, to the top, to the bottom. Kind of a genesis with the snake. Snake is really also death and rebirth, kind of the cycle process of life. And the dragons, like more the danger, can say on the edge of the world, the giant water snake or something like that. And Jesus, that is more the top, like the top, the unity of in observation. It's more like a reminder, the idealism in observation, to not forget in a way. And the cross, that the 4 quadrant is a very important thing also, or the Trinity. So kind of at the top, kind of at the top you have more like summarization of the NF in observation, while at the bottom you have more what is the day-to-day life thing going on that you have to pay attention in observation in the ST. So yeah, that's kind of a big summary of that.